been climbing for 8 days straight because I wanted to see if I could go from complete noob to actually being kind of okay. So why the hell am I climbing? If you follow me, you can probably tell that I really like running, like a lot. Climbing and running, while they share similarities of being in the outdoors, keeping active, there's not a ton of crossover. So like, why am I doing it? As a kid, we grew up in the German Alps. I remember going outdoor rock climbing with my parents, and I remember it being pretty fun. Except for the times that my mum let me go and I scraped my knees and then got traumatized and never went again. My dad is also a mountaineer, so climbing is something that he has always done. I would say in the past 7 years, I have probably gone climbing / bouldering a total of maybe 5 times. However, coincidentally, every single guy that I date seems to be a climber. I don't know what it is. They are just like Alex Honnold fanboys. So I figured, what the hell? Maybe I'll go in the climbing gym, get a ripped upper body, and maybe even get a date. So let's see how that goes. Day 1, I came in with my friend Reese. Legit within the first few minutes, I was just like, you know what? I know that I'm only trialing this out, but I already want to buy proper climbing shoes because these are not it. Oh man, they're so hard to climb in. What the f is up with your hair?
What do you mean?
Yeah, boy.
It looks good, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Easy, easy. Feels different? Yeah.
Nice.
It was super fun. Like, we kind of blitzed through a few. We were feeling pretty confident, we were feeling pretty good about ourselves, and then we started moving across to the other walls that had the same grading or level that we had just completed. We were royally humbled very, very quickly.
What's going on, guys? It's your girl.
Next.
Oh.
How'd you rate it?
I rated it a 10 out of 10. That's how great of an experience it was.
Would you climb again?
Of course I would. You know, I think for me personally, just the talent that I have, I need a higher grading to climb. But this is a really good beginner gym for those just looking to get started, you know?
So I had a great time. I was feeling full of energy, full of confidence, and I'm just like, okay, day 2, I am ready for you. Let's go. I come in day 2, I do the first wall that I already did, blitzed. Easy, happy days. Then I start on the second wall. This one's way more crimpy, way more grippy, and I'm like, okay, I want to get these. And as I'm just trying this out and I'm doing reps and reps and reps of this wall, I meet a group of people that are there, and this is something that I would come to learn. If you're in a bouldering gym that's like quite small, it is so social. Like, I have lost count of the amount of people that I have met this week alone. My DMs are literally just like, you climbing today? Do you want to come climbing tomorrow? Are you climbing tomorrow? Yeah, we're going as a group. Do you want to come climbing tomorrow? I think the really awesome thing with having this community in the gym is that it's one thing to watch somebody go up it and be like, oh yeah, they did those sort of moves, but then to kind of talk through it, especially if you're both stuck on the same problem. And that's what I came to realize. Bouldering, I think climbing, but especially bouldering, it's just problem solving. That's all it is. And everybody has their own way of doing something, depending on their body type, depending on what strengths they have. But it is all just problem solving, which is super, super fun. I kind of lost track, I think, of the amount of times that I attempted this freaking pink and blue problem. The pink one first, because I would say the pink one was way easier. And it hurt. It was just, it took reps, and it was just, okay, again, and again, and again, and again. Okay, day 3 rolls around. Day 2, 3, I would say I felt the most physically exhausted. My body was like, what have you been doing? This isn't how we move. This is uncomfortable and painful. Like my forearms hurt, my shoulders kind of hurt a little bit, and most surprisingly, my glutes hurt. Like they were in so much pain. Day 3 was really good. I met up with Sam, who I'd met the previous day, and we ended up climbing a few times together, which was really cool. Like, to be fair, there's not a single day that I've gone to that gym and not met somebody or said hi to somebody that I have previously met and had someone to climb with, which is really fun. So we did reps of this one wall again and again and again and again. The thing is though, every day, the really fun thing about it is you can just feel it getting easier. Like being able to land a hold that you couldn't even reach, or do a move that you couldn't do previously, and then suddenly out of nowhere it's unlocked and you can do it easily. I think my rule of thumb with it was, if I can rep it 3 times, then it's done. You know, it's not like a one-off, a fluke, you've just done it. If you can consistently do a specific climb multiple times, then it's locked. That was kind of my rule. I think that rule also is probably the reason I was so exhausted and have been ripping up the skin on my hands semi-frequently. I remember there was just like, I think the ones that I wanted to get the most were definitely the ones on the back wall with the blue and the pink problems. And I think I also realized out of all the types of climbing, I don't really know the technical term for it still. I would say it's like quite crimpy. I really enjoy that. Like that is fun to me. It's a fun way of moving, and I feel like it's not as dynamic. Like I don't need to move as quickly up the wall. I can hang a little bit and kind of look around and reposition myself. Whereas something is like the big dynamic movements, yeah. It's not really my favorite. I think it was on day 3, I think it was day 3 that I finally got the pink problem. And it was like the best feeling ever. And then being able to do it multiple times, it just felt so good. It's like just ticking them all off. It's like a really fun and satisfying feeling. The next one was the blue problem. That one, significantly harder and just weirder, I think, than the pink one that was on the same wall. This one was definitely just way more tight holds. It was also requiring to move the body and kind of lean and not literally like be flung off the wall as you try to like balance yourself. You had other boulders in the way of like footholds, and I have done that climb probably like 4 times now, and I still feel like I might fall off at any minute. Like I don't feel 100% stable when I reach the top. The other surprising one that I tried to get so many times was this yellow problem. I think I probably attempted this like 10 or 20 times, and it just was the most exhausting thing when I was first doing it. And I watched, like I did it with Sam, and I just watched her rep it a few times, and I watched how she did it, and I watched other people how they did it, and I'm like, why can't I get this? And I tried a few different techniques. There was one that somebody did where they placed their foot underneath one of the holds to be able to leverage up, and I was like, that's not gonna work for me. I tried just reaching for it, no. I tried placing both feet on it, no. And I think the best technique I realized for me was just like pushing off with one hand to then come up and grab. And it was being able to just hold and have the strength to hold with one hand, pushing up with the other foot along the wall, and then getting like a good grip on it. I think the reason I wanted to get that yellow one so badly as well is because it just looks so deceptively easy. And then when I finally got it, it was the best feeling. And then after you just get it, it's like you can just keep doing it over and over again. It's like you just unlock this like secret little cheat code to it, and it's like, oh, this was here all along. And it is so satisfying. The next big challenge I think of the week was this red slab. That is the one that absolutely grated my skin and finally broke my skin. I did this climb, I don't know how many times. I've lost track. Oh, it sucked. The hold itself is just so grady. So it has excellent grip, but also it will just completely shred all your skin off. It's so like exhausting. Like it really makes you puffed out. And at the top, because I would go to reach for the top and I'd be holding on and then constantly slip, so then it would just cut up my hand. I think on a few of the days I attempted it like 5 times, and then another day when I finally got it, I did it so many times, just trying different little things to try and get me up the thing. It felt great to finally be able to do it. And then again, it was like, all right, I can now rep this. It's definitely not my favorite climb. It's probably one of my least favorite climbs to do, and I just kind of avoid it because I don't enjoy it. But I'm really happy that I finished it. Oh God, I remember when they took me in the cave. I'm like, hey guys, it's my second day ever climbing. They're like, cool, come into the cave system. Like, do I look like Spider-Woman to you? Is that what I look like? Going in the cave was weird. Like, it's quite scary, and you also just feel insanely weak. Yeah, it was like day 2 immediately dropped. Like I could not hold myself inside the cave. I'm like, are you kidding me? I have no upper body strength. This is a joke. I reattempted the cave on day 8. And this time I was actually able to, while I didn't hold myself up for that long, I was actually able to get my feet on the post and be like, oh wow, I see how using your feet, actually, it's not all about upper body. You really got to use your legs. And I was actually able to start like kicking my legs up and just putting my legs on some of the posts. And it was just like a different type of pain. Like my body had been kind of okay for a few days. And then the day after that, I was like, oh my God. My shoulders are in so much pain, like my entire back just aches. But it was just little things as well. I remember that day, I went and I hung on one of the hangboards, and I didn't last super long, but day 1, I couldn't even hang on it. Like I literally, immediately I was like, no. But this time I could actually stay there for like a few seconds. So for me, it was just like really crazy to see how quickly you can make progress if you just stay consistent from day 1 to day 8. Like for 7 days, I'm going. And that's the change that you can make. Imagine if you're doing that for a month, 2 months, 3 months. And I think this applies to kind of everything in life. Like if you stay consistent, it would be weird to assume that you're not going to improve at something. Granted, I would say that, yeah, you should probably enjoy what you're doing because it's going to expedite that process. But if you stay consistent and you just work at it, it's inevitable that you're going to improve. Like it would be really weird if you don't. And it's the same thing that I had with running. It's like, okay, well, nobody is born running like 100 Ks. You just have to work at it and just like gradually build. And it's the same with anything. I think the biggest thing that I probably live by is consistency over perfection. I think we really strive for perfection. We sometimes then don't end up doing something because we don't think we're going to be perfect at it, or we're not going to be the best at it, or it's just going to be like kind of subpar. And so you're really stopping yourself from potentially becoming amazing at something because you're not good at it right away, or it's not how it should have turned out immediately, and you don't stay consistent with it. Consistency will always trump perfection, and consistency will create as close to perfection as you can get. I had an amazing time climbing. I mean, I finally developed some calluses, nice and slowly. I've got like 1. No date. Did not get a date, but that's okay. I'm leaving for New Zealand next week anyway, so that's all good. Made a bunch of new friends. Made so many new friends, which was really epic. Strengthened my upper body like crazy and my forearms. And found a new thing that I really enjoy and am definitely going to be implementing into my life. And also, I think this is a great building block for the things that I want to do further down the track, like mountaineering, like doing a lot more stuff outdoors. The next step from, I guess, bouldering will be to start introducing outdoor climbing, lead climbing, that sort of thing, which is definitely going to be, I think, a really big step up. But just like with running, I love trail running, hate road running. So I think I'm probably gonna really enjoy the outdoor aspect of it. But yeah, if you're thinking about going bouldering or like hitting the gym, absolutely do it. Like it is so much fun. If you've got friends to go with, go together, solve some problems. Or if there's like a local gym that's maybe a bit smaller that probably has a great community, just go. I've gone literally every day by myself except one day, and I have like 10 new friends. It's super fun. Now, if you're wondering about grading systems, I did ask because they kind of grade them a little bit differently everywhere. Also, grading is kind of subjective. Like, one place can grade it a V5 and another place will grade it a V4. You know what I mean? But I think generally the climbs that I was doing at the beginning, aka like the A3s, up to the A3s, would be like everything from a VB to maybe a V2. And then I completed my first A4 at the gym and I'm now working on all A4s. That is probably gearing into some V3 territory. So yeah, definitely not like a V5 or anything. But I think, you know, if I stay consistent at it, I can definitely get there for sure. But again, also grading isn't everything. It's a great way to track your progress, but super duper fun. Go climb, it's super fun. And I will catch you all in New Zealand next week when I go and run an ultra marathon.